My name's Nathan Brill, and I'm the chair of the board at CCRcorp. My father, Jesse Brill, had worked as an attorney at the SEC, later decided to move to California. There he joined a brokerage firm around the time the SEC adopted Rule 144, which relates to trading, executive stock trading. He was responsible for compliance in that area for the firm, and as part of that, he made a number of interpretive requests to the SEC around Rule 144. I received those responses, and at the time there was no internet, so those responses weren't widely distributed. He realized that everybody needed to know these. Every public company really needed every one of these interpretations that the SEC had made around this rule that was very confusing. He realized that there was a market out there and a need for this information, and he thought the form of a newsletter would be good. It was a short 6 to 8 page newsletter that he created and stuffed envelopes on the floor with my older brother and sister before I was around, and mailed off. That was the beginning of the corporate council as it is still today. I've spoken with my father, who was very excited for me to go to law school, as any parent of his generation would be. Without pushing me, he let me know that he would love it if I came and joined the family business. And at the time, I might not have thought it was the path for me, but before I finished my first year of law school, I think I knew it would be where I ended up. Still, I left law school and I worked at a major law firm for a little while to get a little bit of experience and understand what life is like as an actual lawyer. And then I joined the family business shortly thereafter.
I'm Mel Yarbrough. I'm the CEO for CCRcorp. The reason I came to CCRcorp, it was then known as Executive Press, a very short time ago. I got a phone call and looked into this opportunity and saw that it really was exciting. CCRcorp does some things that no other company does. I saw the opportunity. I got to meet the Brills. I got to meet the family that started this. I hit it off. I love their values. I love what they've done, and I knew I wanted to be part of this.
My name is Albert Chen. I'm the National Sales Director with CCRcorp. What's really unique about CCRcorp as a company, not just within our space, but I think in any company, is that we are one of the few companies that's generationally owned and really been passing down. We are still very proud of the fact that we're servicing our clients and provide best practice. So some of the value that you really see that existed, that the company is founded upon, that we still honor 4 decades later. And we truly believe that is because we have a lot of personalities, management, ownerships. We all believe in the same thing.
I think what sets CCRcorp and our products apart are our editors. We have the best of the best.
Hi, I'm Brock Romanek, editor of thecorporatecouncil.net, compensationstandards.com, and deallawyers.com. So I've been practicing law for 30 years. The first 15 years was actually doing real practice. So I was at the SEC actually twice, started my career there, and then went on to a couple of law firms, and then went back to the SEC just as the internet was starting. So I got heavily involved in the intersection of the internet and securities laws right at the beginnings of time for World Wide Web. Then I went in-house to Lockheed Martin, Fortune 50 company, eventually wound up doing this kind of thing.
I'm Liz Dunshee. I'm an editor at CCRcorp, working on thecorporatecouncil.net and compensationstandards.com, as well as deallawyers.com. I was a partner at a mid-sized firm in the Midwest for about 10.5 years, working in the areas of corporate governance, securities regulation, capital markets transactions, and executive compensation, mostly with public companies, a few private companies. And my clients spanned a huge range of revenues and market cap and stage of development.
My name is John Jenkins. I'm an editor, and I edit thecorporatecouncil.net, deallawyers.com, and compensationstandards.com. I've worked for a law firm in Cleveland, Kelsey, Halter & Griswold, since 1986. I'm a partner there. I have been for 25 years or so, former member of the executive committee, and that's kind of where I started, right from law school, and I've been there ever since.
I'm Dave Lynn, and I'm senior editor of the CorporateCounsel.net, the Corporate Counsel, the Corporate Executive, and work on the Executive Compensation Disclosure Treatise and Reporting Guide, as well as CompensationStandards.com. My legal background is worked for about 10 years at the Securities and Exchange Commission. I was chief counsel of the Division of Corporation Finance, and I've been in private practice as well, and have about 25 years dealing with public company regulation and disclosure issues and executive compensation disclosure, among other areas.
In terms of the websites, that includes the CorporateCounsel.net, which covers over 500 different practice areas. Anything that SEC may regulate, you'll find resources on it. We also offer Romeo and Die Section 16.net, which is the premier go-to resource for practitioners and learning the how-to on filing Form 3, 4s, and 5s, as well as understanding the associated litigations and liabilities pertaining to that area of law.
So CompensationStandards.com is really designed for two audiences. One, it's designed for those that draft the proxy materials, particularly the executive comp disclosures. And then we also cater to those that are in the HR profession or those that are actually helping the board set the pay levels for executives. So DealLawyers.com is probably the only site that I know that has a lot of heavy M&A content. John Jenkins has been great the last few years building up the content on that site. His John Tells blog is incredible. He's really funny and witty, and he tells personal stories about pitfalls and pratfalls that M&A professionals want to watch out for. And so when you're using that site, you got to sign up for the John Tells blog. It's the best.
The best place to start with the M&A treatise is probably the foreword to it that I wrote, where I confessed that it actually got started in a patio bar in Siesta Key, Florida, where Brock and I were drinking margaritas, and he said, we need to have an M&A treatise. And it may have had something to do with the margaritas, but I didn't realize that when he said we, he meant me. So I kind of sat back and said, okay, I guess I got to come up with an M&A treatise. Now, fortunately, I taught law school for 10 years, and the class I taught was mergers and acquisitions. So I had a base in terms of class notes and that type of thing to start with, and that's kind of the skeleton that we funded the M&A treatise on. We tried to, there are a lot of great products out there that address M&A law. They tend to come from academics, and academics are great, but they come to it from an academic perspective. What I've tried to do is more of a practitioner's perspective. I mean, we're still talking about the same cases, the same doctrine, but I try and keep it a little bit more down to earth. We have a bunch of asides in there where I tell some stories or try and explain something a little bit more in a perhaps more user-friendly fashion is what at least my attempt is. I'll let the readers make the call on whether I succeeded or not.
One of the core publications that I work on for CCRcorp is the Corporate Counsel, which I always consider to be the flagship publication of the organization. The Corporate Counsel started in the early 1970s. Jesse Brill and Mike Gettleman were really the founders of that publication, and over the years I've gotten to know them very well and understood that what they were trying to achieve with the Corporate Counsel was to give practitioners very practical guidance about how to comply with SEC rules and to deal with issues that could arise as a public company or as a person who's seeking to trade securities of a public company. And I've tried to carry forward that idea in the Corporate Counsel today, where we're really trying to address the issues that mean the most to the people who are trying to implement the rules that the SEC adopts or trying to implement new developments in corporate law. And for that reason, the issues address very topical areas, but also sometimes just address areas that are very useful from a day-to-day practice. They're not necessarily the latest and greatest thing, but just a thing that as practitioners we know people should know and should understand how to do. So I think it really spans a range of providing people with what's happening in the world today in securities law, but also teaching them what's a best practice and what's the best way to address an issue when it arises.
My favorite resources on the sites are the handbooks and checklists. I use them all the time when I was practicing, and I still use them now when we get questions on our forum and things like that.
But we also incorporate a lot of the community feelings that typically people only find within membership associations and not so much in the traditional publishers, if you will. So things like webcasts, where we host at least one on a monthly basis, where members can log on, listen to expert talking about the latest topic that's pertaining to their practice. We have Q&A forum where member can converse with our editorial staff and other members directly. And we also have done a great job curating a lot of third-party content.
I think it's a one-stop shop for people in the corporate governance and securities and executive compensation practice areas. There's no other resource out there that provides the type of practical advice all in one place, as far as handbooks and checklists that you can look at, as well as tons and tons of law firm memos organized by practice area.
What we've somehow, and I give Brock all the credit for this, we have a real sense of community. You know, we don't talk about customers, we talk about members. We get an awful lot of interactions with our members. They feel free to reach out to us, whether through the anonymous question and answer forums that we have. But many times, they'll see something in the blog and they'll send me an email saying, "Hey, John, you may want to mention this," or "Hey, that was great. What about this thing?" And it's really kind of a unique experience, and I don't think it's something that a lot of our other ones out there. People seem to be comfortable interacting with us, and I think they feel there are real people behind the product and people they can reach out to, and I think that's a bit of a differentiator.
I think what sets CCRcorp's products apart is that they really live by the thought that we're trying to provide practical guidance to practitioners. We're trying to provide information they can use every day in their practice, and we're trying to provide it in a way that it's very accessible to them and easily understandable. And we're targeting a wide range of practitioners, people who have just started in the practice of law to people who have been practicing for many years and might be the general counsel of a public company. So I think in that way we try to really speak to a lot of our members and provide them with the type of information that allows them to look good to their executive team or to their boss or to their partner that they're working for. And over the years, I think the most gratifying thing I've always felt is when I've heard from people who said, I learned everything I needed to know from looking at CCRcorp publications. And I think that's the kind of thing I always wanted to do with it, is to teach people and disseminate that knowledge and allow them to develop as lawyers.
So CCRcorp is different perhaps than other competitors in that we have people that are been in the field, done that. I've practiced for 30 years. Also our network of community, so we're able to go, if we don't know the answer to your question, we know who to go to get that answer for you. I think that's something that others can't do.
CCRcorp truly is unique. One, it was one of the founding companies that gave practical guidance out there for people to really know how to, not only, we like to say save time and money, everyone's heard that, but truly we give the kind of practical guidance that both a new associate all the way to a senior partner can utilize. It's in depth, so it's very unique. There might be some other companies that can give a thin layer of practical guidance, but we really give in-depth analysis that really can help everybody in a firm or a general counsel or whoever's looking for the knowledge that we can deliver.
I think starting out with the earliest issues of the Corporate Council, our very first newsletter, my father and his partner, Mike Gettleman, were always writing from the perspective of we. And I think that taking that perspective made people feel a connection to what they were reading. It was very technical information. It was written in a somewhat technical way, but still very easy to understand. And I think the simple use of that word we built a connection with some of our subscribers, some of whom have been around from, I believe, the very first issue.
If you look at the our editors, their depth of knowledge and experience, it's second to none. And in addition, they've created a community whereby not only are they providing in-depth analysis and practical guidance, but there's also a Q&A section where you can actually reach out to them, and they're accessible. They talk about things that keep people in the know, but also they talk about a lot of ancillary things as well that brings people together. So that community is real, it's tangible, people enjoy that, they feel part of something, and they know they're not alone.
I'm excited that we can continue to provide excellent resources to corporate counsel, and I believe that our expansion into other areas that corporate counsel are very interested in will help us expand that reach and reach even more people with the great practical guidance that we have to offer.
What really excites me about our future is, one, we're going to continue on the same path that we've gone. So we're not changing the company and our core values. I love the fact that, one, it's a company based on ethics and we want to do the right thing. Two, we're going to continue to deliver the practical guidance, the same analysis, the same community. We're going to continue to deliver what we've always delivered, which really which has brought us here where our customers love us, appreciate us, and typically they don't leave us. They love us. There's a passion that I hear when I talk to customers. I just went to a conference and I heard the passion behind how much they really appreciate us. We're not changing that. What we have heard is that, hey, we would like more. Can you expand? Can you give us more? Employment law, tax, other areas. We've sent out surveys. They've also told us we want more. So yes, we will continue to deliver the same service that people know and love, but we also want to deliver more. We've heard, we're listening, and we're going to give more guidance as we migrate into the future. That's exciting. The brand change, we wanted to still deliver that practical guidance, that in-depth analysis. So CCRcorp stands for Corporate Counsel Resources, which the Corporate Counsel is one of our main subscriptions. So that's still there. But we wanted to have something more simple, CCRcorp, that would create an umbrella brand, bring all of our subscriptions together that we could leverage into the future as we expand and grow. So we wanted people to know the same service that you've come to know and love is still there. You've still got that practical guidance, that community. We're leveraging the name to expand into the future to deliver more.
Despite having been around as long as Executive Press had, we were known very much for our products and not for our brand. And as we're looking to provide more and more resources to corporate counsel, to generally attorneys both in-house and at law firms, name change made sense. CCRcorp. It's a great name, and I think corporate counsel resources is what we do, and that's where we are.
My name is Laura Zagian, and I'm the team lead of product management at CCRcorp. Executive Press didn't really have an online presence outside of these 4 product sites, each of them very separate. And so part of the challenge coming on was building a web presence from the ground up. So part of the reason why we changed the brand from Executive Press to CCRcorp was to build this online presence and this community even more. We really want to leverage this new brand as we expand into new areas of law and as we continue to put out more content. We really want to help our editors achieve more exposure so that we can help more community members and more general counsel, corporate counsel, in-house, and law firms. So we realized going in that we really needed a plan to not just build a new website. That's only one element of expanding our online presence. We also launched social media accounts for CCRcorp, including Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Follow us. In addition, we also realized it would be important to attend events and trade shows as exhibitors in order to, one, meet our current members and really interact with them and get a feel for what they do and don't like and what they want to see more of. And two, it's really a great place to meet hopefully new members and see if our products can benefit them. A unique thing that we offer is a free trial. You get a chance to try our products before you make any decisions on buying, and I think that's really important. The reason why we do this is because I think our products speak for themselves. And I really think that our prospective members will see how valuable they are as they save both time and money. Every company says we can save you time and money, but we're so confident that we're willing to let you try it for free. So the way the free trial works is you sign up online, you submit a form, and then a specialist will reach out to you to activate your free trial account. From there, you'll immediately have access to all of our checklists, handbooks, webcasts, blogs, and Q&A forums. So you actually get a chance to ask any questions that you do have directly to our editors or the community, and you'll receive almost instantaneous feedback.
I'm Paige Brandt, and I'm the event coordinator at CCRcorp. I'm most excited about attending more conferences and trade shows and other events in general to increase brand exposure for the company, as well as meeting the people in our community and speaking to them about how they've benefited from the products that our editors have created. We're currently seeking opportunities with companies with a similar audience. The type of opportunities we're looking for are trade shows, conferences, co-hosting happy hours, and digital partnerships. We're really looking to have a cross-selling, cross-marketing campaign that will be mutually beneficial to both parties and provide a networking opportunity for our customer base as well as our partners' customer base.
If you'd like to learn more about us,
If you're interested in more information about how we can maybe help your practice,
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and connect with us on LinkedIn.
Please check us out.
Go to www.ccrcorp.com.